Good Friday evening, February 21st, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. South Kentucky Avenue in East Wenatchee will be closed for 19 days beginning Monday morning. The 50th anniversary of Special Olympics Washington will be celebrated tomorrow with a Polar Plunge. An atmospheric river is pointed right at us with wet and warmer weather expected Saturday night through Monday. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. East Wenatchee Police have identified two men suspected of stealing $2,600 worth of ammunition from Coastal Farm and Ranch. On January 21st, the two men allegedly stole a combined total of 4,300 rounds of assorted ammo. Though the theft was not reported by the store until the following evening. East Wenatchee Police posted photos from video surveillance captured of the suspects to Facebook, asking for assistance in identifying the two suspects. Chief Rick Johnson told NCWLIFE News that a citizen called in to identify the two men, but since the investigation is still ongoing, no names will be released at this time. The North Central Washington Libraries Board adopted a display policy yesterday, but stopped short of creating an entirely different policy about flags. The discussion about adopting a flag policy was a topic during Board's January meeting in response to community comments for and against pride flags inside library locations. The display policy was approved 6-1 and said displays will not discriminate on basis of race, age, sexual orientation, economic status, views, and other items. The library's flag policy discussion was a topic of the latest edition of the Wenatchee Record political mailer, which said NCW libraries took down American flags and replaced them with pride flags. NCW libraries denied the claims to NCWLIFE late last month, and Executive Director Barbara Walters reiterated during the meeting that North Central Washington Libraries has never taken down an American flag at any of its locations. South Kentucky Avenue in East Wenatchee will be closed for 19 days beginning at 7 a.m. Monday morning. No canal crossing will be available during the temporary closure, and only local access will be granted from Southeast 6th Street to South Lawler Avenue, as well as Southeast Flora Street to Southeast 8th Street. Douglas County officials have issued the closure to allow crews to safely install steel casings underneath the canal for future utility projects. The road will reopen on March 14th. The head of the state agency overseeing education in Washington said school districts should not comply with federal demands that they eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, or DEI. Superintendent of Public Instruction Chris Reichdahl said Thursday the state will not be intimidated by threats to withhold federal funding.
We got an order recently that said they're going to take federal dollars. The U.S. Department of Education will withhold federal funds from our state if we don't eliminate and wipe out all things diversity, equity, and inclusion. Again, I don't know how these three powerful words that have long been the history of our teaching, our education system, our civil rights laws, the way we conduct ourselves, most of us, if you really look into the mirror, would say diversity is a good thing. Equity is an important way we live our lives to create more opportunity, and inclusion is where it starts. You got to give people an opportunity to be at the table. So our laws in this state, both federal law, state law, as well as some of the interpretation of that law through the courts, makes it really clear that both public and private sector organizations can lean into DEI. There are laws that protect folks from discriminatory hiring, and we will protect that as well and defend our laws in the state of Washington. But DEI is not a harmful thing, it's a good thing. We cannot allow the federal government to take money away from the state of Washington on a right that is clearly in the states and clearly in our local governments and in our communities. Executive orders from the president that are outside the scope of federal law, that's not going to change who we are either. And I do want to remind you that even in the Dear Colleague letter that we got from the U.S. Department of Education that threatens to take away our federal money, they say right in it that they don't have the power of law to actually do that. They're trying to intimidate us into that, which we will not be intimidated.
When we come back, the 50th anniversary of Special Olympics Washington will be celebrated tomorrow with a Polar Plunge. The annual My Girlfriend's Closet fundraising event will return to Wenatchee in March. The Forest Service said it burned a pile of forest debris an acre in size on Thursday in an area burned last year by the Pioneer Fire. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan?
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
you know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
The 50th anniversary of Special Olympics Washington will be celebrated tomorrow with a Polar Plunge. Participants will take a plunge into the Columbia River at Walla Walla Point Park at noon in an effort to raise money for the cause. So far, the Special Olympics Washington website shows not only it has the $15,000 fundraising goal been met, but it's been exceeded by $6,000. The Special Olympic Winter Games are celebrating 35 years in Wenatchee next week and will kick off next Friday, February 28th. The Winter Games include alpine skiing, snowboarding, basketball, and more for individuals with intellectual and physical disabilities. The annual My Girlfriend's Closet fundraising event will return to Wenatchee in March with a ticketed pre-sale event. The shopping event, hosted by the Women's Service League of North Central Washington, sells donated items such as clothes and shoes to raise money for local nonprofits and scholarships. This year's event will be held at the former Big Lots store on Easy Way in Wenatchee the weekend of March 14th through the 16th. However, a pre-sale event will take place March 13th for people to grab items before they're available to the public. Tickets for the pre-sale event are $40 per person and are available on the Women's Service League's website. The Forest Service said it burned a pile of forest debris an acre in size on Thursday in an area burned last year by the Pioneer Fire. The burn, about 11 miles north of Chelan near Cooper Mountain, is part of the Forest Service prescribed burn program designed to reduce fuels for future wildfires. Officials said there is another acre-large pile to burn in the area, but there was too much snow to ignite that fire. The Pioneer Fire burned about 40,000 acres off Lake Chelan last summer and threatened the town of Stehekin, leading to Level 3 evacuation notices. It was one of 2024's largest wildfires in Washington state. Pioneer Park will see some sidewalk and accessibility improvements this year. According to NCWLIFE media partner the Wenatchee World, the Wenatchee City Council approved a $228,000 construction bid last week with East Wenatchee-based Pipkin Construction. The project will fill a sidewalk gap along Fuller Street that currently ends abruptly, add ADA parking spaces, and several new paved paths which connect park features. The Wenatchee World says future plans for the park also include replacing the park's light poles and adding a group picnic shelter. The project will be completed no later than May 30th before the public pool opens. Coming up next, Andy and Lana Thomas turned a large old fruit warehouse and turned it into a shopping district in Kashmir. They're among the recipients of the Community Impact Award this week from our media partner, the Wenatchee World. Our temperatures jump well above normal this weekend as a wet atmospheric river moves through our area. I'll have your full local weather forecast coming up. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Follow the Wenatchee Bighorns right here on the NCWLIFE channel. The Wenatchee Bighorns are back for another season in the TBL, and we've got you covered. Follow the Bighorns on Saturday, March 1st at W.B. Smith Gym against the Willamette Jaguars. Grant Olson will be courtside with your play-by-play pregame at 6:45. Be sure to tune in for Bighorns basketball on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel. What once was old now is new to the NCWLIFE channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
In tonight's features story, when is an old fruit warehouse more than just an old fruit warehouse? Andy and Lana Thomas took a 60,000 square foot facility in Kashmir and turned it into the Side Street, a shopping district that now features a cider house, a retail shop, a coffee shop, a nonprofit recycler of construction goods, and more. The Thomases are among the recipients of the Community Impact Award this week from our media partner, the Wenatchee World.
And we said, great, where do we meet up with our friends and family and get a bite to eat and enjoy the community? And we just kind of realized that it doesn't really exist to the scale that it could. Kashmir is a wonderful slice of heaven, but there isn't that local meeting place where you can, we have family in Bend, Oregon, and there's plenty of breweries that have just big open space where you can get a pint, and there's food trucks. You can sit outside and just enjoy life. And we really didn't see anything like that happening. So we set out just kind of for a family-friendly tap room. The building that we bought had been for sale for a couple of years. There was 2 other buyers who were going to tear it down and build apartment complexes. So it was a little bit more than we wanted, but we also knew that we could save a historic building and achieve that community goal that we were looking for. And so it went from a family-friendly tap room to an entire city block, 60,000 square feet of figuring out what we can do to be community first and tourism second. We found about 22 core businesses that we really felt like would serve the community of Kashmir. And we've set out to not just open those businesses, but to enable people in their community to own those businesses. Every business can cross-pollinate, support one another, and give each other the opportunity to let that money exchange hands 6 times in your community before it goes to a corporation.
We looked at everything as to is this a hole in the community, or would this be someone that, we currently own Dispatch Mailroom. Dispatch Mailroom is a loss leader for us. We don't make money on it, but it does bring people into the building, and it's offering a service that is actually really needed in our area because there's nowhere to drop off these packages. You have to drive out. And so we sort of tried to look at a balance of businesses like a mailroom, which are going to have daily customers, that then maybe those daily customers go grab a cider, they grab a coffee. But then you've got the coffee people that are coming, and maybe they'll go buy from the mercantile. So really trying to fill those gaps, but then also fill it in with other little supporting businesses that we thought would be helpful. And I think community is really showing up as well. So we could have done this and then no one come to the coffee shop, no one come to the cider place. But I think it goes back to what Andy's saying of like, we already saw the holes. We knew what the holes were. So we just were hopeful that everyone else thought those were the same holes that we were missing.
I think that ultimately what Lana and I want to do is continue to grow the building intentionally and stagger the openings. It allows everybody a little bit of breathing room to grow their business without being stepped on by the next new business. And so we've kind of intentionally rolled some new things out every couple months moving forward. So we'll have the vinyl record shop, bookstore, food trucks moving in. Those are all within a month of each other, staggered for a month. So, February, March, and April will be fun. Ice cream shop will be opening, things like that. From there, it just starts what I call the culinary wave. And I mentioned before is the Farmers Co-op, Butcher Shop Deli, Speakeasy, and Community Theater. And so that'll drive, we established our anchor tenants and the reason to come to the block with our coffee shop, tap room, and mercantile. And now we want to grow the reason why you'd come. It's like you have those are really easy draws, but now with the Farmers Co-op and a place that you know that you can cook everything for a meal out of one place, and getting involved with the local high school and getting involved with the FFA club, buying our beef and our cattle from the FFA, getting it butchered up in Nahom Canyon and selling our own meat. I mean, all of those things are possible because Lana and I are spearheading those operations to keep it local. And so I think that we'll continue to grow the block and make sure that we are really just enabling the success of our tenants and then growing the events and the exciting things around it.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great end of the week Friday. Lots of clouds out there today. Temperatures a little bit better than yesterday. We stayed pretty cool yesterday, but as I mentioned, a lot of clouds, but a beautiful shot outside our weather window up in Lake Wenatchee this afternoon. Lots of snow up that way. Snowpack, pretty good shape in the higher elevations around North Central Washington. What we're dealing with, warmer weather, that atmospheric river we talked about last night, and that's going to kick up some pretty good winds. Western Washington, a lot of wind, and we're going to see it a little closer to home here too. Waterville Plateau, as well as the Columbia Basin. We could see gusts on Tuesday between 30 and 40 miles an hour. Not quite as bad Saturday through Monday, but the real wind, as I mentioned, will be in Western Washington, and I'll show you that coming up here in a little bit. High temperature unofficially today rose to 38 degrees. 44 is now our normal high temperature. We're gaining a degree about every 3 days now. Record high 65, and that was set in 1988. 30 our low this morning, a couple of degrees warmer than normal. 28 is where we should be, and 10 degrees our record cold set in 1986. Sunrise 6:55 this morning, and sunset is 5:34. All right, getting you into Saturday and the all-important weekend. A big difference in temperatures. In fact, almost all of us except Lake Wenatchee will be in the 40s tomorrow. In fact, mid to upper 40s. Moses Lake and Ephrata, 45 for Quincy, and then low 40s. Ellensburg, Wenatchee, Entiat, and DeChelan. That goes for Omak as well at 42 degrees. 40 for Leavenworth and 41 the high temperature tomorrow in Kashmir. We will see a steady increase in clouds as we get into tonight. This ridge of high pressure is slowly moving to the east, and that will allow a low pressure system to move through. That will be a quick hitter tonight with about a 30% chance of rain. Lows tonight in the mid 30s. For Saturday, cloudy skies. There is that atmospheric river setting up. We'll see an 80% chance of rain, and boy, that's statewide with maybe even heavy rain. That lighter gold color from the Cascades into western Washington. High temperatures, lower 40s as we mentioned. On Sunday, that trend will continue as that low pressure trough digs in, an 80% chance of rain. Look at this though, high temperatures into the upper 40s on Sunday afternoon. So even though it's going to be wet, a lot of warm air moving our way. Here's another area of low pressures forming on Monday. This is where we're worried about the wind along the coast of western Washington. We'll keep an eye on that on Monday. Good chance we're going to see some more rain Monday as well. High temperatures again in those upper 40s. And then Then as we get to Tuesday, some morning rain showers, not a lot. Most of it by afternoon will be in western Washington, maybe even mostly sunny skies by Tuesday afternoon. Highs again above normal into those upper 40s. For your Wednesday, our friend high pressure develops over eastern Idaho, and that's going to keep us mostly sunny. It will be mild on Wednesday. High temperatures near 50 degrees by midweek next week, and even better, I think, a little bit on Thursday. Sunny skies out there. Just going to feel nice with unseasonably mild temperatures. Highs again Thursday, right around 50 degrees. There's your 7-day forecast. 34 overnight tonight, and then this rainy period. Saturday night right through Monday. 42 your high Saturday, 48 Sunday, 47 on Monday, and we're going to stay in the upper 40s to right around 50 with mostly sunny skies by Wednesday and into Thursday. That's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and adult care honors caregivers like you. The relatives, friends, and neighbors helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and adult care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station based right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Be sure to tune in for coverage of local sports. Once again, this spring we'll bring you prep boys soccer, baseball, and softball. In addition, we're adding Wenatchee Bighorn basketball in March, April, and May. It's all right here on the NCWLIFE channel, our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as our website at ncwlife.com. Happy Finally Friday. The Four Nations face-off was a classic and finished off that way last night. Connor McDavid's goal, 8:18 into overtime, lifted the Canadians over the U.S. team in the championship of the week-long tournament. 3-2 in Boston last night. The game was filled with tons of incredible plays and will reside fondly in the memory of hockey fans for years to come. NHL resumes its schedule after the break tomorrow with Seattle Kraken at Florida to take on the Panthers. That puck drops at 3 o'clock on Kong TV. Eastern Washington men were no match for Northern Colorado last night to men's college basketball. The Bears knocked off the Eagles 95-76. 4 games on tap tomorrow. Eastern visits Northern Arizona at 1 o'clock on ESPN+. Washington visits Iowa at 1 on the Big Ten Network. Washington State hosts Santa Clara. That'll be at 3 o'clock on the CBS Sports Network. Gonzaga hosts St. Mary's tomorrow night. That's actually on TV at 5 o'clock on ESPN2. On the women's scoreboard last night, Northern Colorado edged Eastern Washington 50-46. Washington had no trouble with Rutgers, winning 83-65. Washington State got by San Francisco 67-59. Gonzaga beat St. Mary's 60-53. 3 games on the ESPN Plus tomorrow, with Washington State hosting St. Mary's at noon, while San Francisco visits Gonzaga. Eastern Washington hosts Northern Arizona at 2 o'clock. Number 10 10, TCU back at home Sunday morning against number 17, West Virginia. That's at 9 a.m. on ESPN2. Washington plays at Nebraska at noon on the Big Ten Plus. Well, the Cactus League baseball season began for the Mariners today in Peoria, Arizona. And let's see, looks the same. Mariners struggled with the offense, only had 2 hits, 2 runs. They lose 5-2 to the Padres. Seattle managed just those 2 hits. They did get a home run by Samad Taylor in the top of the 9th inning. Jonathan Diaz took the loss. Won a couple of innings, gave up a couple of runs and a home run. Seattle heads for Tempe tomorrow to take on the Angels. That'll be at 3 o'clock. It's a crucial weekend for the Wenatchee Wild as they hope to have any chance of reaching the WHL playoffs. Kind of must-win time. Wenatchee hosts Seattle tonight at 7 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. Wild will be chasing, actually are chasing the Thunderbirds for the 8th and final playoff spot. Following tonight, Wenatchee plays at Portland Saturday at 6 before returning home Sunday against Vancouver. That'll be at 4 o'clock. Go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com for tickets. You can follow the action with Austin Andrade at 560 KPQ. Well, let's catch you up to date on playoff basketball from last night and what's on tap for the weekend. Eastmont stayed alive for another day with a triumph 63-30 win over Eisenhower last night. The win affords the Wildcats a trip to West Valley tomorrow night for a last chance at state. That'll be at 6 o'clock. West Valley beat Davis for the District 5A boys title last night, 81-68. The Pirates will host Moses Lake for a last chance at state Saturday at 6 o'clock after the Mavericks beat Eisenhower last night, 80-65. How about those Cascade Kodiak girls? After going 3-51 the last 5 seasons, Cascade improved to 17-10 last night with a 52-34 win over Chelan, just 1 win away from reaching the state 1A tournament. Kodiaks will travel to Lakeside 9 Mile Falls tomorrow at 2 o'clock for that chance at state. Natchez Valley beat Wapato to advance to the state tournament last night. Cashmere meets Zilla for the district championship tomorrow at 5:30. That'll be at Wenatchee High School. On the boys' side of the tourney last night, Chelan edged Cashmere 52-50 to advance to state. The Bulldogs will host Lakeside 9 Mile Falls tomorrow at 2 o'clock for a last chance to get to the state tournament. Royal and Zilla will meet for the district title. That'll be at 7:30 at Wenatchee High School. District 5 2B tournament wraps up tomorrow at Moses Lake High School. For the girls, Okanagan plays Tri-Cities Prep at 11. Mabton faces Columbia Burbank at the same time. Brewster and Cle-Elum face off for the district championship at 2 o'clock. The first 2 games for the boys will be at 12:30 with Lake Roosevelt facing Columbia Burbank while Okanagan takes on Tri-Cities Prep. Liberty Bell plays LaSalle for the district title also at 2 o'clock. Congratulations to the Waterville Mansfield, or shall we say Shocker or Colonel girls. They win the District 5 1B championship last night at Wenatchee High School. The Shockers beat Pateros 49-41 in the girls title game. Soap Lake stayed alive by downing Wilson Creek and will meet the Nannies tomorrow in a last chance to reach the state tournament at 10 a.m. Moses Lake Christian proved to be too much for the Waterville Mansfield boys in the championship. Lions beat the Shockers 49-26. Oroville edged Soap Lake season, ended Soap Lake season 49-39. Hornets and Shockers will meet for a last chance to get to the state tournament. That's tomorrow morning at 11:30. Well, today is day 2 of 3 days of championship wrestling happening in the Tacoma Dome. NCW Life Channel has been tracking, 244 wrestlers from 18 North Central Washington schools. The best way to keep track is on our Facebook page. You can also, if we don't get it fast enough for you, go to the WIAA's website and click on Mac Classic XXXVI, and you can go there yourself. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. What is my name? I don't know. I can't keep track with all this stuff going on. Holy cow! Have a great weekend.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great weekend.